and Golden Globe award-winning actor, you know from films such as Trainspotting, Moulin Rouge, and Big Fish, as well as shows like Fargo, Halston, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. He stars in the limited series A Gentleman in Moscow, which premieres on March 29th on Paramount+. Let's take a look.
For the last 4 years, I have resided in Suite 317 of the Metropole Hotel.
Why?
My house was burned down.
Occupation.
It's not the business of gentlemen to have occupations.
Then what good are you to Russia?
You do not seem to appreciate the gravity of your position.
No, I fear I understand it perfectly.
Please welcome back to the show our friend Ewan McGregor, everybody. Welcome back.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. You know, I'm always excited to see you. I'm particularly excited because this is one of my favorite books of the last 10 years.
Brilliant.
Gentlemen, it was like, it's the kind of book that I recommend to people all the time.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it grabs you right away, and I felt the same way about the first episode I watched. Did you know the book? Did you know Amor Towles?
No. I was approached and I read the first, an early draft of the first episode, and then got into speaking with Ben Vanstone, who's our writer and our showrunner, and then I got into the book once I knew I was going to play the part, and it really is the most amazing novel, and like you, I've recommended it to so many people. I didn't want it to, like I did the slowest read. From halfway through, I was down to like 2 or 3 pages a day, just because I didn't want it to end, you know, I didn't want it...
It really does have that
really
wonderful... And it sort of covers a great many years of Russian history, and it's about a count we see very early on in the series here, who gets... Basically, after the Russian Revolution, gets banished to live in a hotel for the rest of his days.
That's right. He's been living there in his suites, a suite of rooms, you know, because he's loaded, he's a count. And but he goes back, he thinks he's sort of got away with it because everyone else in the aristocracy got sent away or executed, mainly executed, I think, probably.
Yeah.
And so they think that he wrote this somewhat communistic poem in the past that was attributed to him, but he didn't write it. So they say, because you've written this poem, we're going to banish you to the hotel and you have to stay there for the rest of your life, and if you step foot out of the hotel, we'll shoot you. So he sort of feels like he's won. He's got away with it a little bit. And then he wanders across back to spend the next 30 years in a hotel. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
I will say, even when I read the book, having children, I think anybody who's a parent is like, that sounds okay. You know, your first thought is like, all right, a hotel, okay, and if I leave, I die, so nobody can be mad at me. A lot has been said about your incredible mustache work in the film. Bravo.
Too much, maybe.
Too much, maybe. Which is why I'm going to move on.
Exactly.
Because I feel like no one's talking about the perm.
No.
And like in any other, it really speaks to the quality of the mustache that everybody... Well, this is the mushroom.
You're
that's
upset.
The mustache, that's the mushroom.
You're going back to the baseball clip.
Yeah, exactly. No, there is... No, but this is... So you actually did get your hair permed?
Yeah, guys. Listen. No. Trust me. If you haven't done it, just do it once. It's something that you should do once in your life. Have you had a perm?
No, but I'm going to say something.
Next week on this show, Monday night.
Wait, a Monday?
Come on, do it.
Well, when we were in high school, my brother got a perm.
Okay.
And we gave him a hard time for everything.
Yeah.
But then he has much better hair than I do now. I feel like an early perm in life might be... I highly recommend.
I would do it now.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Just do it.
I had a good excuse to do it because I felt like I wanted the Count to feel aristocratic. I wanted him in the hotel to stand out. You know, he's representing this whole people that have just been gotten rid of, and he's just digging his heels in. He won't go out without a fight. So the hair was part of that for me. I don't know. I always saw him with curly hair. Maybe Amor wrote him with curly hair in the book. I don't remember. But the perm was the way we went. And I'd had one when I did my first ever job at a drama school. Was a series called Lipstick on Your Collar. And I played a sort of young rocker in the 50s. And so I had a perm then, but I'd never had one since. And they took me to London to do it, and I sat in this salon, you know, getting my perm. And when they took all the rollers out, it was just fantastic. Like, you are a new man. You're like a different... You're a whole different person. You've got to try it, guys. Listen, I'm bringing it back.
If I find out, this is now when you have to disclose if you're being paid by Big Perm.
No.
If this is hashtag ad, I will be very upset.
No. No, I'm not representing any perm company at all.
Your wife is in this film.
Yes.
This show, excuse me, Mary Elizabeth Winstead. You
Yeah.
worked together, Fargo season 3.
Yeah.
This is obviously tonally so different, but it just must be a joy, especially when, you're spending a long time on set to have her there as well.
It was amazing. It was just brilliant. I mean, if you've got to get up at 4:30 in the morning to go to work, it's nice to be able to hold your wife's hand on the way in, because it is.
They're just sad because her husband got a perm.
Oh, yeah.
They're like going like, oh.
Or is about to get one. He's about to get one. No, it's really nice to go to work together. I from Fargo, even when I didn't know Mary very well, there was something amazing about, we'd go on and there'd be these long, complicated scenes, dialogue scenes, and we would just walk on and sort of just figure them out instinctually by doing them. And usually that process can take a while, and it always took us like 2-3 minutes just to figure out how a scene is blocked. And so I've always loved working with her, and we're always trying to find things to do together. And I was reading this, and I was attached to it and reading the novel. And the deeper I got into the novel, I kept looking over, going, Mary, Anna's really a good character. She's really quite. And by the end of it, she was like, "Give me that book," and she read it, and it was just love. They're both brilliant characters to play. And at the beginning of their affair in the film, we spend the night together, and after making love, the Count makes makes a terrible error and says a stupid thing that upsets her. And then, as Amor writes beautifully in his book, as he's leaving, her chemise is on the floor, and he goes to pick it up, to hang it up, and she says, "No, don't bother with that." And he does it anyway, which drives her mad. She's like, "Who does he think he is?" And for 3 years doesn't speak to him, but she keeps coming back to the hotel. And so, we got to play all this sort of cold shoulder acting with each other, which was just hilarious, to do. It was fun.
I mean,
very
anytime
funny.
you can do the cold shoulder stuff with your wife and get compensated for it.
I know.
You know what I mean? We're like, that's
Quids in.
Yeah, it's gonna happen anyway. You might as well get paid. And lastly, last time we were on Zoom, but we talked about you narrated a nature documentary that I was watching with my kids, and it was very harrowing because it's like your lovely voice. And what's the kind of bird called? A guillemot? Do you remember?
Guillemot?
Guillemot, yeah. Guillemot. And this bird falls out of its nest, like what seems like 1,000 feet.
Yeah.
And I'm watching with my kids, and it's just very clearly a dead bird. And then they do an edit where the bird comes out of the water, and you're like, but the bird was fine.
Yeah, they cut to a penguin or something going, and then they cut back to clearly another bird coming out the sea, right?
Yeah. And I want you to know, it's really meant a lot to me that you've just owned up to this sort of.
I wasn't involved in the edit, but I'm with you. I think that's what they did. I asked them, they're like, "No, it was the same bird," and I'm like, "No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It never was."
Have you done any more VOs for Nature Docs since then?
I've done some VOs. I haven't done another one of those. No, because I was traumatized by it too.
Yeah, no,
so
okay.
I won't do them
I mean,
anymore.
Look, at least you have other, there's other avenues for your work.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Brilliant.
Congrats.
Great to see
on
you.
the show.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Ewan McGregor, everyone, A Gentleman in Moscow premieres March 29th on Paramount Plus. We'll be right back with Sarah Bareilles.